Hello friends, welcome back to another Value Vintage Cards video. So one of the things I realized as I am kind of recording videos and chatting with folks is I have a pretty clear niche and kind of bias towards more regional, lower population, more scarce type items, a lot of pre-war, a lot of sets that just aren't commonly found. But I think all of us probably got our start in a vintage world by simply looking back at something that was, before when we were in our prime collecting years. And growing up, I even, I always enjoyed, I was born in 77, so I enjoyed those early 70s and back into the 60s and 50s. And, even before high school, I had a T206 and I had some Gaudis, and I always enjoyed that era of cards. But the prime, that, golden era, golden age kind of stuff, those 50s, 60s, kind of call it the Beckett run, 48 Bowman up through 50s and 60s Topps and the Bowman issues and things. That's the prime. That's the, meat on the bone, if you will. That's where we all kind of start and where we, kind of grow our collecting journey, I think. So, I wanted to share, because I feel like I don't enough. I wanted to share, I guess it's my top 25, not necessarily by value, partly by value, but, just kind of as I sort. So I've got a couple that are ungraded. I've got, I think, 4 different types of slabs, so it goes very well into the Franken collector mentality. But I just wanted to share. I don't think I give this type of card and type of, part of the hobby enough love. So let's kick it off. So that is a 49 Bowman Musial. Again, I know there's, all of our centering friends will have a field day on that card, but I think it's fantastic. Image is great. This one I've had forever. 54 Topps K-line. So still ungraded. When I send them in, I usually kind of pick by, scarcity and value and different things. So it's a pretty clean copy. And given what it is, that's not a bad copy. So those are the only 2 ungradeds that I pulled. I have one from KSA, but this actually did come from Canada when I bought it, so I feel like it's a little more legit. KSA isn't exactly our wheelhouse of grading companies, but they gave it a good. I think that's a pretty nice, clean example of a 50 Bowman Jackie. I have 0 problems with that one. I'm not a crack it out and resubmit it person either, so that's probably not going to be what ends up happening with this card. This will probably just stay here forever. So pretty happy with that one. All right, next up, we will jump over to some PSAs. They're in no real order other than kind of by grading company, just because that's how I have them in boxes. Maybe I'll explain my sorting system a little bit later, but got 54 Topps Banks. Nice PSA 1 there, but I liked that one. It's obviously got creasing and different things, but for the most part, the image is still good quality. The one of him batting is cool. The logo's cool. The centering is actually really good for that. And I'm not a centering fan per se. I always say it kind of just depends on the card. 54 Topps, you get the name cut off so much. I wanted to at least be able to see his name. Side to side's decent, so it doesn't look crazy for any reason, but I thought that was a good one. Here's a Poor Fair. 48 Bowman Spawn. So, pretty clean example. Classic Spawn card. 57 Topps. This one kind of got me revitalized a little bit a couple years ago. I picked this thing up. That was a card that would have always been on my list. 57 Topps Mantle Bearer Yankee Power Hitters. So it's a good, nice, clean one. A little bit of a printing something on the back there. This one's a more recent one. I've had that in a lower grade for a long time. And because I'm such a Musial fan, I said, you know what, I need to just bite the bullet and upgrade that thing. So getting that in a 5, I feel like does that justice. And 5 seems to be about the point where it, a 6 is the jumping off point where it gets really, really expensive. So happy to have a 53 Bowman Musial. This is the Topps. Did not want to go with any offshoot issues, so nice solid 68 Topps. Ryan and Kuzman. Kuzman doesn't get enough love, but double rookie. Thought 4 was a good solid example there. Get rid of the creasing, get rid of some of those symptoms, being that it's a somewhat newer card. Decent one there. Back to 48 Bowman. Like I said, there's no rhyme or reason for this, so 48 Bowman end of things. We'll go Yogi Berra. Big Yogi fan as well. So, pretty clean example. I mean, really, for what that is, it's a little dirty, but for the most part, that's a nice looking card. I will take a 2 all day. This one's actually from my SGC reveal not too far back. Seaver rookie. I was a little disappointed that got a 1, but I guess I'll just take a really nice 1. That's okay. I had it raw for years. Sent it in really just because of the value. Some of those I like to slab up just because of potential value or sorting from a family later kind of thing. I had 3 of these. I've swapped out at 2 of them, so this is the one I kept. It's got a big old crazy crease in the middle. But I guess if we're going to crease it, that's about the best place, right? The image of his face and the image of him fielding are both really clean. So 56 Topps Mickey Mantle. Little off cut, but oh well. This was a grading reveal as well, but 53 Topps Mantle. Gotta have a couple of the Mick. I actually used to have more, and I've swapped out of some of my Mantles. Again, I'm not saying I don't appreciate this era, but it is replaceable. They're not as tough to find as they could be. So, Koufax rookie. We're about to do a Mount Rushmore episode where this gentleman may make an appearance, and this card, this player could definitely appear for a couple different reasons and a couple different topics. But not bad. So I was happy with the 2.5 on that. This one's interesting. Got an authentic. Minimum size not met. I can only assume that's a factory issue. I don't think that's been trimmed or anything like that. In fact, I should probably measure that and see if I agree with the fact that it's not up to standard. But quality control being what it was, 54 Bowman Mantle. I mean, it's rough as it is, and A is a little bit worse than a 1 or 1.5, but I still think it presents well, and I'm happy to have that one in the collection. This is one I had 2 of, and I swapped out a 1 to my buddy Joe. 48 Bowman Musial. I decided to upgrade that just because it's a player I collect so significantly. The 2 is the upgrade, so I still didn't want to go enormous dollars for something that is readily available. This one I sent in, I had for years and years and years, so this was in another reveal, but the floating head, got my Pete rookie. So with his recent passing, I feel like he's getting a little boost in appreciation, but as Mark would say, it's the Ken McMullen rookie. But all good. 2.5 solid. I thought that was a very fair grade. And the last SGC from this little bucket here. I feel like that's a nice, perfect representation. Like that is almost the poster of what I look for in a card. It's slightly off cut, corners are pretty strong. You might find a crease, but it's not going to be major. Love me a solid 2. Bob Gibson, 59 Topps rookie. So that is the end of kind of my second best box of cards, as well as a couple ungradeds that were kind of on the fence, should I grade them or not. And then the last 9, I think it is. Maybe not. Maybe it's only 8. Yeah, maybe it's 8. Are from like my big box, my number 1 box, if you will. So I try to have 1 box and maybe 2 boxes that are kind of sorted out as the biggest cards in my collection. I don't know if anyone else does that. I sort it mostly by player because that's how I collect, but I also have a box or 2 that's just like my best. So those are kind of separated out within the collection. But that's one of my favorite. That might be my favorite Willie Mays card. I absolutely love that card. 53 Topps. And again, that's almost the exact same description. Centering not quite perfect. Corners pretty strong, but not perfect. Might be tough to find a crease. I'm not sure. There might be a little bit of one. Hard to tell. I feel like that's a strong looking 2. Colors are good. Back is fine. Nothing you can't read. But I think, for my money, that is one of my absolute favorite cards. Really, period. And probably my favorite Mays card. So, love that. 53 Topps. Fantastic. Next up is, for me, this was such an iconic card growing up that I had it. I sold it at one point, and it was one of the first ones I bought back because I just felt like I had to have this thing in the collection. And it's my only high dollar, well, not my only high dollar, my only high dollar in this video, BVG. But 52 Bowman Mickey Mantle, BVG 1.5, which I would say is probably going to cross over to a 1 if I were to do that, but I don't care to. I'm good. So, a little bit of a crease through his face, but even the centering's pretty strong on this card. I do. I know some people don't love the, kind of sitting. It's not really a perfect portrait. It's not really a playing image, so some people don't love that, but I enjoy that an awful lot. I think for me, it's just one of those things that was always in magazines. It was always a classic epic card when I was growing up that I could never attain, and so as we get older and have more than just, allowance money or, chore money or helping out around the neighborhood money, that's one that was quickly on my list. So, all right, down to the final 6. I'm switching over to SGC. So let's run through these. A few of them I've shown before, so sorry if you've seen them. 54 Bowman, that weird, what we thought was a pretty scarce short print kind of thing where the card was replaced, but Ted Williams, Jimmy Pearsall ended up being another duplicate of the same number. 1.5 Super Fair, same kind of thing. 1 big crease, colors are decent, centering's decent. To me, that's a perfect version of that card for my collection. That represents how I collect. Next one is one I picked up in trade. We'll stick with 52 for a minute here. Go Willie Mays. Again, similar thing. Centering not perfect, couple of big creases, but I'd say the image overall is fine. Back is respectable, definitely centering a little bit of an issue, but oh well. Absolutely love 52 Topps. For a lot of people, that's the favorite Mays card. I will still I mean, I'm spoiled. I get to have a choice. If you have either one of those, it's understandable why that's your favorite, but I do enjoy the 53 Topps just a little bit more, but 52 is by no means not an amazing card. The other 52 actually is, if I were to do like a Mount Rushmore of my collection, this would be on it. So it's one of the highest dollar cards I've ever bucked up and bought, but I do have a 52 Topps Jackie. It's one of those cards that I feel like the ones are such a wide range that for me, I wanted to almost get something that was going to be just a niche better, just a tick better. And so a 1-5 definitely has a big crease, definitely has some stuff going on with it, but there's a nice clear shot. I think for all the different issues we see with 52 Topps, that is such a great one. That's such an iconic card. I'll explain in the future why that was on my list, and that's one that I probably will never get rid of. Even as I shift from kind of almost mainstream to scarce type of collecting. I feel like that's an example of one that I probably want to just keep that version of it if I'm going to always want one. I think that's a perfect one for my collection. That's exactly how I want my cards to look. It's well loved, but also makes me happy to look at it. All right, I guess I'll keep it with Jackie. This was another one from my SGC submission. This is one I bought years and years ago and sent it in. Let's see if I can get that to get a little crisper image. 49 Bowman. If you look at it, that is 90% a great card, and then it has a little bit of paper loss on the front, which is why it got a 1, and I am 0% ever going to upgrade that. I think that's fantastic. So, even the back is, for the most part, great shape. So, I just want to get that, because of the dollar value on it, I want to get that thing slabbed up and, verify authenticity and all the stuff, but can't go wrong with a 52 Topps and a 49 Bowman Jackie. So Leaf, still on the list, but also not appropriate for this video, even if I had it. Last two, can't go wrong either way, is a good grand finale, but go back to 55 Topps. Roberto Clemente. 2.5, that's another one I actually did through a submission, and I was really happy with that grade. That came back strong. No reason it wouldn't have. Sometimes it is funny when you look at it and it's ungraded. I don't know, you're trying to pick apart. I never want to get too overly optimistic when I submit something, so I just always assume I'm going to get a bunch of A's and 1s, and every so often one comes back a little better than I thought. But it's a solid example. So get in really, really close on that, and it's still great image. Centering's fine. I love the pirate in the upper corner. Him batting. Back is clean. So, yeah, that's a cool one. 55 Topps Clemente. That'll probably be the one I keep forever as well. This one, I could almost see upgrading. This is the end. This is the grand finale here. 54 Topps. I feel like this one's getting more and more love lately as one of the most iconic cards. Again, it's a 1. I've had a 2 swapped out of it. For me, this is just like the classic, give me a barely made a 1 and didn't get a higher grade kind of card. Good old crease through it. I know some people say don't criticize the cards. I'm not criticizing. I'm really just pointing out why it fits my collection so well. If I wanted to go for a 5 or a 6, I'd have to swap out of 3 or 4 of these cards to get this one card. I love these in a 1 because it lets me have the Clemente and a Robinson and some different stuff. I love having these 1s and 1.5s, and we can find one that is still centered. The corners aren't clipped off. They're loved. A little bit of a crease, so somebody wasn't as careful as they should have been with it, but I mean, for the most part, that's how I designed that card, so I can afford it and still look at it, appreciate it, and love it, and enjoy it. So that is, I think I hit 25, right? I wanted to just kind of accentuate this, the golden era. So I didn't even hit into the 70s. I really did up through, I guess, Ryan rookie, I think was the most recent, 68. So 48 to 68. But just wanted to kind of share and give some love for the standards, the traditional. You can see where my collection's at, what I'm missing. Obviously, I don't have any of the huge monsters. I don't have the 51 Bowmans of Maze and Mantle. I don't have a 52 Mantle. I don't have any of that kind of crazy stuff. But I enjoy what I have, and these are probably all cards that'll stay with me. I don't have them on the, to trade out of list. And really, I don't have them on the needs upgraded list. I enjoy all of them as they are. I'm really happy to have all of them in my collection. And it is every so often when you're going through all the different options that are out there, it's fun to go back to those classics. Like when I was a kid reading through a Beckett or a Tough Stuff or, whatever other magazine at the time, these were the cards that were pictured, and these were the ones you kind of dreamed of having at the time. So just wanted to share what I have and give some love. So see you all on the next video. Thanks.